Hi, it's Soncerae Monique here, and welcome to Black Macho. If you are new here, I appreciate you being here, so subscribe. I just started doing my podcast again. I took a very long break because of a few reasons, but now I'm back here to talk about some of the most important things that need to be talked about inside of the Black community. First and foremost is wealth and success. I talked about relationships for a long time on this channel and how Black men and women deal with one another. So now I just want to focus more on talking about how I became successful and how my peers became that way and what we can do as a community to build together. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about today, but first I want to get into this whole thing with Jay-Z. Jay-Z has about $2.5 billion. His net worth is ridiculous. And so there's this post going around where it's talking about how his cousin asked him for $4,800 and he said no. And to put that in perspective, that would be the equivalent of someone who made $50,000 a year being asked to give a dime. When you have money, it is not your responsibility to start giving everybody around you money. It's up to you whether you want to decide to do that. And one of the biggest problems people who are financially stable have is other people asking them for money. Anybody who has won the lottery or anyone who has worked extremely hard to get ahead, they know what it feels like to consistently be pressured into giving their money to other people. Now, I'm very big on collective success. I feel like inside of the Black community, we are very much individualized. Like, we promote individualism. We don't come together as one culture to do things together and build. Now, I'm not going to generalize the entire Black community, but because there are some people out there who are doing what they can for their community. A lot of billionaires and millionaires who are Black put their Black dollars back into the community. But this specific thing here has to do with family and whether or not you should give your family money. Honestly, I feel like there are a lot of reasons why you shouldn't. Family can start stressing you over money, I'm pretty sure. And I'm not talking about parents giving their children money or children giving their parents money. I'm talking about siblings and cousins and aunties and uncles and people who've been married into the family and all types of stuff. It could be a lot if your family is not a wealthy one. And I think a lot of times when we think about wealthy families and how they marry into other wealthy families, a lot of people think that has to do with nepotism and favoritism. But at the same time, it's like it's a headache when a wealthy family marries into a poor one. That's where the friction starts arising. And it's the same thing like if a family came together and one family had a specific religion and the other family had another religion, it's the same thing. So anyway, what a lot of people don't know is the context behind this conversation about Jay-Z. Apparently he had two cousins and two of those cousins asked him for money and one wanted $4,800 to flip to turn into $2 million in 2 weeks. Now, those of you who know anything about financial literacy, you know you can give $4,800 to somebody who's an entrepreneur or a business owner, and yeah, they can make a substantial amount of money, but not $2 million. Flip it and make $2 million in 2 weeks is somebody who's doing something illegal. We're talking about $2 million here. $4,800 to $2 million. No. And then again, it might just depend on your circumstances. Like maybe if you're a content creator, you got a big following, you can use $4,800 to start maybe an e-commerce store and start selling stuff. But I don't know if you could get 2 million in 2 weeks, maybe a month. I mean, if you Drake, maybe or Rihanna or somebody like that, then maybe you could get $2 million in 2 weeks, but by selling a product, but it just doesn't sound right. It doesn't add up. And so anyway, Jay-Z had another cousin. The other cousin started with his own money and had a great business plan. Then Jay-Z, his sister Andrea, and their mother later invested into that business. And he now has 5 locations, Buffalo Boss Wings and things. Now, here's where I start appreciating the fact that Jay-Z decided not to give his cousin money, because there's a difference between giving people fish and then teaching them how to be fishermen. To me, it was more beneficial for him to teach his cousin to be a businessman than to simply just give him money. And I mean a better businessman. If you know about business, if you know about entrepreneurship, if you know about investing, if you know about money, there's something not right about $4,800 being turned into $2 million. It's just not. The math isn't mathing to me. If you have some suggestions and you disagree, please put it in the comment section and give me some type of clarity. Now, I'm big on financial wellness, budgeting, debt management, saving strategies, investment strategies, tax optimization, any other financial products, credit scores, financial planning. I love fintech stuff, so I know a lot about apps that help you generate income, or business checking apps or budgeting apps. Anyway, I know a lot about all of that. I also teach a lot of that. So if you want to know more about what I teach, go to luxladywealth.com, or you can go to sonceraemonique.com. I have some ebooks out there. And as we're sitting here, we're talking about ebooks. A lot of people, when they see me promote my ebooks on my YouTube channel, they automatically assume it's a course. I do not do courses. I can do 30-minute financial health assessments. I can sit there and talk to you and try to work out your finances in about 30 minutes to an hour and just let you know what you could do just seeing it from a distance. What I do is advise everybody to go out there and get a financial advisor to where they can sit there and look through your taxes and your income and give you a good plan. I can't do that from a distance, but I can give you some good advice. A lot of business owners hit me up and ask me how to scale up their business. There's a lot of people who want to know more about trust funds, and I've taught people information about that. So if you go to luxladywealth.com, there's some ebooks up there, and if you need more help after that, you can schedule a session with me, 30 minutes to an hour. Okay. One of my most popular ebooks out right now that people just continuously keep buying over and over and over again is my Lady Lux 10K in 10 Days book. This is a dope book. But of course, if you're the type of person that has a lot of skepticism, you think everybody is a scam artist, you think that people out there who generated income did it in a dubious way or an unethical way, if you have that type of mindset, you're not going to be able to succeed. If you don't like rich people, or you want to eat the rich, if you think negatively about wealth or capitalism, you are going to automatically think that anyone trying to teach you financial literacy is trying to scam you. So my thing is, if you want to get ahead, you have to open your mind to it. And it's all about having a wealth mindset. And when you hear somebody say wealth mindset, sometimes it gets annoying, because I remember it used to annoy me when people would say that to me. And I used to be like, what exactly does it mean to have a wealth mindset? Does it have anything to do with the law of attraction or manifestation or all of this trendy stuff that people have been talking about recently? Again, it's just a shift in thought. Let me give you an example. So I'm not necessarily a fan of the lottery. Like, people who play the lottery, to me, it's like the money that you put into the lottery, you could put that money into starting a business, going out there, getting your EIN number. And starting a business is not always easy, depending upon what kind of business you start. The paperwork associated with it is kind of annoying. The keeping up with the licenses and the regulations and all types of stuff, dealing with customers, you need help with your business. Okay. Some people have an ATM business or a car wash business or a vending machine business, laundromat business. The beginning of it is very difficult, and a lot of times businesses do not generate a lot of income the first and second year. There's this interview I saw with Jeff Bezos and I think Jay Leno, and Jeff Bezos was telling Jay Leno, I'm at negative $3 million with Amazon. And this was years ago. And now you look at Amazon now, and he's making so much money, and all he had to do was get past the hump. And a lot of people was looking at him back then like, oh my God, you are like struggling. How are you going to continue to keep doing this business? And he eventually, it got better. So when you first start your business, it's not as successful as at first. So it's easy for you to give up. It's easy for you to be like, oh my God, this is too hard. And then you have people who get into business and immediately their business is doing great. So it just depends on what kind of business, what the economy is like, what the market is like, supply and demand, all types of different things. And yeah, everybody wants to get into business for their passion, but your passion might not be that lucrative. So as a business owner, you have to decide, hey, do I want to do this business because this is what I love doing, or do I want to do a business that is in demand? It's in high demand. I know I can make $1 million. I know I can be extremely wealthy if I do this. That's how you become wealthy. Back to the lottery, because I digress for a moment. So I don't like when people play the lottery, because a lot of people who play the lottery all have the same mindset. They all have this weird mindset when it comes to money. And let me explain. Some people believe that they could never attain wealth. They think it's some fairy tale to win like $1 million. It isn't possibly attainable. And I see that in my comment section a lot. A lot of people feel defeated. A lot of people are like, it wouldn't be called wealth if everybody could have it. And to me, it's like, wealth is subjective. There are some people out there who think making $100,000 means that somebody is wealthy. That's not wealth to me because I've made $100,000. I already know what that feels like. So to me, that's not even a lot of money. But there are people out there who have never made over $50,000 a year. So they have no clue what it's like to be able to possess $100,000. So it's subjective what wealth is. And to me, like, I don't want to be ultra rich. I don't want to be sitting on trillions of dollars. Yeah, I want to be a decamillionaire, right? Yeah, I want to be making more than enough money to where I can do a lot of philanthropic work. But I don't need to be like super duper ultra wealthy. When you start talking to people who are like business owners or entrepreneurs and millionaires, they have this thing in their mind where it's just like thoughts become things, right? That's usually a millionaire's mindset, okay? And I'm simplifying it. Thoughts become things. It all starts with your mind. It all starts with the wealth mindset, right? And some of you are like, okay, if I visualize myself as a millionaire, riding in a Rolls Royce with a mega yacht and a private jet, living in a mansion, and I visualize this in my mind, why hasn't it manifested yet? Right? If it's so easy to simply just switch your mindset to a wealthy mindset for something to be manifested, why aren't more people wealthy? My thing about that is simple. So there are a lot of people wealthy, but getting there is difficult. Okay. It's not an easy thing. You have to have tenacity. You have to have determination. It's not something that's just going to fall out the sky. I think a lot of times when we look on social media and we see this one person who made a TikTok video and now 3 years later, they're worth $100 million. You know, there are exceptions to the rule that it may have been easy. That could have been the first video they posted. It could have been the 30th video they posted. But most of the millionaires and entrepreneurs out there who are extremely successful, it took time. It did not happen overnight. It wasn't something that they just visualized once and bing, it fell out the sky. You have to have execution with it. I think one time I heard Taraji Henson say something that like resonated with me. It was right there with me. And she said, yeah, she could pray to God that she doesn't miss the bus, but it doesn't mean she's not going to run for it. You understand what I'm saying? Like it doesn't mean that she's not going to make sure she gets to the bus stop on time by running to it. Yeah, she's going to pray she doesn't miss the bus, but she's also going to run to it. So why haven't the things that you wanted in life manifested yet? It takes more than financial literacy. It takes more than visualizing. It takes action. And what a lot of people tend to do is make the mistake of visualizing something, hoping and praying and manifests, and not necessarily doing the action associated with what they're learning. Anyone can learn financial literacy. Anyone can learn how to be a millionaire, but to actually go out there and get it done is a whole nother thing. And no, it isn't always about your connections. It isn't always about the opportunities that someone could hand you. Sometimes you have to create opportunities for yourself. You have to create sources of income. When I first got my YouTube channel in 2008, they wasn't even paying YouTubers yet. And people was looking at me like, what? Like, how are you a YouTuber? Why are you posting videos on the internet? Anyone who does YouTube is a flat out weirdo. This is what they were thinking in 2008. So I was posting content, and I just kept going. And eventually I started getting paid for it. But initially it wasn't, let me make this a job. Let me make some money off of this. It took time for me to create it and make it be an opportunity for myself. A content creator wouldn't even be a thing if people like me didn't take the time out to just do what I wanted to do and stop listening to what other people think. And that's another thing. Instead of focusing on your own mindset, you're focused on the mindset of other people. You're concerned about what they're going to think. For everything that every person knows how to do, there is an audience of people out there who will buy it. It's so many people in this world, and I think a lot of us tend to forget that. So if you genuinely have a product or service that's solution based and is fixing a problem, you could easily get people to buy it. So it takes more than financial literacy to be wealthy. Yeah, you have to know how to execute it, and you have to know how to balance life. You have to be emotionally and mentally healthy enough to be able to grasp the concept of future truth. Future truth is very different than the typical visualize or fantasize, okay? Stop fantasizing about something that will never happen and instead visualize it. There is a difference between visualizing something and fantasizing about something. A lot of people like the fun of fantasizing being a millionaire, or the fun of, like I said before, being in a mega yacht or a mansion or riding in a Rolls Royce. It's fun, but you're not expecting to actually be able to do that. The same thing that goes with playing the lottery. A lot of people play the lottery, but they don't expect themselves to win. They're just fantasizing about winning. They're fantasizing about getting a ticket and winning. That's very different from visualization. And a lot of people mix the two, visualization and fantasizing. It's two different things, because with fantasizing, you don't expect to get what you're fantasizing about. It's a fantasy. And a lot of people think like that. They think being rich, being wealthy is not something that's attainable. You have to visualize stuff with belief and expectation, and then be ready to take action, inspire action. Because at some point, after you've learned all of this information and you've been experiencing the day-to-day rigmarole, learning whatever it is that you're learning, you are going to get this inspire action to be able to move forward and to do something specific with what you learned. So when I sit here and I'm talking about visualizing, it's not just about the law of attraction. You attract what you are or what you think about most. It's not about false hope or metaphysics, really. It's not wishful thinking or crossing your fingers hoping that it manifests. It's not you thinking about something that's never going to come to pass. That's not how that goes. You have to really believe in yourself. You have to really believe in future truth, meaning you're working towards something and you know that you will be that. That's how I always felt about myself. I always knew I was going to be successful, even when I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together, even when I was homeless, even when I didn't have the equipment that I needed to do videos. When I didn't have my microphone, I knew I was going to get it. When I didn't have an iPhone, I knew I was going to get one. Same thing with houses, land, businesses, everything. I always knew I was going to be successful, and I still got a long way to go in order to get the level of success I actually want. Because every time you get to a certain level of success, the bar is raised higher, and then another goal comes in your mind and you're like, okay, I want to do this. Now I want to do this. Now I can do that. It never stops. It's endless. And for some people can't handle that. Some people just want to chill, relax, and not even have to worry about any of that. And that's why they're not millionaires. They don't want it. They don't want to do the work associated with it. They don't want to think about it. They just want to chill on the side of a beach. So a lot of people play the lottery, but they don't actually expect to win. They simply like the fun of fantasizing about it. It's the same thing with being a millionaire. You got to learn to appreciate the journey, okay? Because it will happen. Once you make up in your mind, it is what it is. It's how it goes. You have to understand that being financially stable is actually somebody's reality, okay? Being a millionaire is so many people's reality. Making over 6 figures is somebody's reality. Having a wealth mindset is realizing that. Instead of making the fun of fantasizing over being a millionaire take priority in your mind, you instead learn how to obtain it in real life. That's the difference. And it's a subtle difference, but that's what's not making a lot of you wealthy. There's a difference between fantasizing and manifesting real things into your life. Expectation is a huge difference. So you got to expect it to come. The reason why a lot of y'all don't expect it to come is because you are worried about disappointment or failure. You're afraid to fail. But what you don't understand is that failure is what's required for you to become successful. It's in the times of challenge and controversy that you build muscle. So it's a part of it. It comes with it. There are celebrities out there who were millionaires at some point and then lost everything and then gained everything back. Fantasia has publicly said plenty of times that she lost everything twice in her entire life. Sometimes you lose balance. Sometimes things shift, so you have to shift. Becoming wealthy is not just some fun thing to think about, and the definition of wealth is subjective. Like I said in the beginning, some of you think 6 figures is a lot of money, but I don't think it's a lot of money because I've made 6 figures already. So if you're sitting around and you're fantasizing about making 6 figures, that's not a directive thought. You understand what I'm saying? It's like you're fantasizing about it. You're not visualizing it. You're not learning what you need to learn in order for you to go out there and get it. You have to make up in your mind that it's going to happen, and that's your reality, period. And it's a lot of people's reality. When you live in a place like I do, where everybody's a millionaire, all of the homes are worth about $2 million. I live in Northern California in the Bay Area, so everything is expensive here. Everybody is a millionaire. So you look at it differently. And the people who can afford $25 million homes, you're looking at them like, oh my God, you're so like rich. But it puts you in a different mind frame. And that's why I moved here, because living in Atlanta, which is one of the cheapest places to live, it was like keeping me stagnant. It wasn't pushing me to be better. In a place where everything is so much cheaper, how can you actually get to the mega rich part of being a decamillionaire? And I'm pretty sure other people don't view it like that, but that's how I viewed it for me. So I had to put myself in a position to where I was forced to improve who I was as a person, financially, professionally, emotionally, mentally, all of it. I had to take me serious, and I had to see things from a different perspective in order to live a different perspective or to be who I wanted to be. So when I first put out the 10K in 10 days book, I got about $300 that first couple of hours. And people was downloading it left and right like crazy, especially on YouTube, just to see how they could get 10K in 10 days. And I've done it. So it wasn't like it was complicated. It was pretty easy, actually. But it was because I had already built so much momentum to begin with. I had already worked in like challenging and uncomfortable conditions. So it was kind of easy for me to obtain something like this. I'm going to read to you the first page of it. And if not page, but I guess the first chapter. And if you want to buy it, you can. It's one of my most popular ebooks out of all of the ebooks I got. I got 6 ebooks right now. I'm trying to get to about 8, but I got 6 right now. Lady Luck's 10K in 10 days, Let's Devise a Plan is the name of the ebook. So anyway, I was going to start an online course. Then I realized that don't nobody got time for that. Anytime we see the financial experts give out the same suggestions about saving and changing jobs so we can be millionaires in 30 or 40 years, it gets annoying. We are living in a new day and age where earning 10K is easier than one will believe. You of all people can do this. You just have to have the dedication, strategy, and put forth the proper effort to do it. No, you don't have to scam or con anyone. It's as simple as making up your mind that it's what you are going to do. What I promise in this book. That's the name of this section. While I provide valuable insights, strategies, and actionable steps, it's important to note that individual results may vary. I cannot guarantee specific financial outcomes or that every participant will generate $10,000 within the 10-day time frame. However, by following the principles outlined in this guidebook, dedicating effort, and utilizing the strategies presented, participants can increase their chances of achieving their financial goals and cultivating a more luxurious lifestyle. Remember, success ultimately depends on individual dedication, resourcefulness, and market conditions. Now, even with the market being the way that it is, you should still be able to get $10,000. All right, so then the table of contents comes, and it's part 1. So in part 1, it's called Setting the Foundation. Now is not the time to quit your job. Making 10K in 10 days is a challenging task, but not entirely impossible. It requires a combination of strategic planning, dedication, and multitasking responsibly. One possible approach could be leveraging high-income skills such as freelancing, consulting, or coaching. By offering your expertise in a niche market, you may attract clients willing to pay a premium for your services. Another option could involve launching a time-limited product or service with a strong marketing campaign to generate rapid sales. However, it's crucial to know that achieving this goal requires exceptional effort, effective networking, and the ability to deliver exceptional value to potential customers. It's easier to make 10K faster if you sell products or services. It takes longer with a 9 to 5. However, utilize the income from your 9 to 5 to start a lucrative side hustle. Success is built upon the firm foundation of dedication, perseverance, and a clear vision. Set your goals, lay the groundwork, and watch your dreams take shape. Define your goals. Start by clearly defining what success means to you within the given time frame. You can make 10K in 10 days, or you can break down the 10 challenges I give you by completing one challenge every 10 days, ultimately making 10K in 60 days. If that seems more comfortable or attainable to you, break down your larger goals into smaller, actionable steps and prioritize them based on their importance and urgency. This will help you stay focused and avoid feeling overwhelmed. By having a clear roadmap, you can effectively allocate your time and resources toward the tasks that will have the greatest impact on your success.